For parents, getting kids ready to go back to school can be a stressful time, especially during a pandemic. As COVID-19's Delta variant is showing to be more contagious, affecting more children than previous variants, we're discussing safety as children head back into the classroom. Thanks for joining us for this week's Health News You Can Use. I'm Lindsay Stish. This week, we're talking about back-to-school safety amid the pandemic, what parents should know, and what measures families can take now to help keep children safe and healthy as schools are in session. With me today is Jenny Bose, Director of Infection Prevention for St. Luke's Health System. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So how has the COVID-19 Delta variant changed the risk of getting the virus at school?
The Delta variant is really a game changer. Delta has proven to be transmittable for people that are vaccinated or unvaccinated. But for those that are unvaccinated, which is our elementary school kids and younger, those kids are at risk for more severe illness and hospitalization. So our prevention strategies become more and more important.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing more than just COVID in our community right now. What other viruses are you seeing in the Kansas City area?
So we're seeing RSV. That's a big one. That is a virus that can affect all age groups, more predominantly in the pediatrics. And so really kind of one of those issues for pediatrics especially. But there are also cold viruses, and influenza is just on the heels of being in season. So something to consider for vaccination. And then, as always, there are those GI viruses. So lots of things that are confronting us.
So what can parents do right now as they prepare to send their kids back to school if they haven't gone back to school already?
Oh, wow. First of all, I think it's important to have a contingency plan and then encourage them to wear a mask. We know peer pressure is a big thing. And think about how we can be one of the influencers for peer pressure. For the younger groups, teach them how to wear their mask properly over their nose and covering their mouth. As snug of a fit as possible. Washing our hands and, modeling the behavior that we really want to see from our kids.
So could schools trigger a COVID outbreak in the community?
Absolutely. And one of our goals is really to keep our schools open. So that means that we need to really collectively think about what we do as individuals, as families, and what we want our friends in our school to do. So a outbreak in a school could mean several hundred kids that are out of school again, which is not what we want. But even worse, that we could have several hundred kids that are very ill and potentially the need for being hospitalized.
So you've touched on this a little bit already, but what can parents do to keep their kids safe this school year?
It's back into the basics. So lots of things, really. Think about how often you touch your face. So wash your hands. The mask obviously keeps us from touching our mouth, which is how we would contract a lot of viruses. So the viruses are circulating, so we need to recognize that. If you're sick, stay home. Get tested if you think that you might have COVID. If one of your family members has COVID, they need to be quarantined. The whole family needs to be quarantined for just that exposure. Again, back into those contingency plans. It's important to wear a mask. Think about the ventilation for those activities. What activities are really going to be essential and what maybe are not essential. We know that friendships are really important for our kids, and so think about what things they can do, maybe not so much of what they can't do.
So what other strategies should families practice during this time?
It's the same old again, whether you're an employee at work or whether you're a a kiddo going back to school, let's embrace a common goal. And that common goal being keeping our schools and our ability to go to work, keeping that open, and our families and friends safe from the virus. The Delta variant has proven itself to be at least 2 times more transmittable than the other virus.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Ginny.
You're welcome. Yeah.
If you'd like to find out more about COVID-19, visit stlukeskc.org/COVID-19. You can also stay up to date with all the latest developments on the COVID pandemic and other health news from St. Luke's at stlukeskc.org/news. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time on Health News You Can Use.